So today, Unit 18 of English Vocabulary in Use, the advanced level. So guys, I'm going to turn off the comments, and while doing the exercises, I'm going to turn them on. So let's get to it. Unit 18, Home Styles, Lifestyles.
Home styles. A squat is an empty building where people start living without the owner's permission.
Exactly, a squat. You can also use it as a verb, you know. For example, somebody is squatting in some place. Using squat as a verb. And the person, we call the person squatter.
Squatter. Okay,
Yeah.
let me write them. Okay, squatter.
And you can also use it as a verb. Okay.
A hovel is a very small, dirty house or flat in a bad or run-down condition.
A hovel, exactly.
Rented accommodation can be either furnished or unfurnished, means with or without furniture.
Exactly. Rented accommodation can be either furnished or unfurnished. Exactly. Next one.
A penthouse is a luxury flat at the top of a building.
At the top of a building. You can link it. At the top of a building.
At the top of a building.
Exactly. At the top of a building. Okay. Council.
Council or social housing is rented accommodation provided by the state for people who have low incomes. A council state is a large group of such housing.
Housing. Exactly. Council or social housing is rented accommodation provided by the state. State here means the government, for people who have low incomes. A council estate, the pronunciation is estate. A council estate is a large group of such housing, an area that there are a lot of such buildings. We call it a council estate.
Okay. Okay, high-rise or flats or tower blocks are flats in a tall, modern building with a lot of floors.
Exactly. High-rise flats or tower blocks are flats in a tall modern building with a lot of floors. Next one is interesting, a granny flat.
A granny flat is a set of rooms for an elderly person connected to a relative's house.
They also use the words in-law apartment. Yeah, in-law apartment or in-law suite instead of a granny flat with the same meaning.
Could you please repeat?
In-law, in-law apartment, in-law apartment, or in-law suite. The same suite that we use also in Persian.
Okay.
S-U-I-T-E, suite.
Okay.
So a granny flat, in-law apartment, or in-law suite.
In-law suite.
Okay, that is with part A. Now moving to part B.
Idioms or expressions relating to house and home. Expression get on like a house on fire, meaning get on very well with someone. Example, happily my mother-in-law and I have always got on like a house on fire.
We had this earlier, right? Get on like a house on fire with somebody means get on very well with someone. Happily, my mother-in-law and I have always got on like a house on fire. Okay.
Next one, a household word. A household word a household name.
Yeah, a household word or a household name.
Name. Something or someone everyone knows.
Mm-hmm.
Nike has become a household name.
Nike.
Nike, pardon me. Nike.
Yeah, Nike has become a household name. Exactly. Something or someone which is popular and famous. On the house.
On the house means free of charge.
Charge.
Example, the restaurant owner offered us coffees on the house.
Mm-hmm.
خیلی جالبه این
Home.
expression های انتیکش.
Yeah.
Home truth.
Truths.
Truths.
Exactly.
Truths. Information that is true but not pleasant or welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Example, it's time he was told some home truths about the way he's been behaving.
Exactly. It's time he was told some home truths about the way he's been behaving. Not the expression, it's time he was told. After the subject, we have past form of the verb, but the meaning is for present, not for the past.
He was told, it's time he was told some, yani گفت
when you use this structure, it means that it's time to do something, and it's already a little bit late. Okay? When you say, for example, it's time to go to bed, you use the infinitive, it's time to go to bed. It literally means it's time to go to bed, okay? It means it's exactly the time, not late or not soon, okay? But when you say it's time he was told some truths, means it's a little bit already late.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time to show. Okay.
Or for example, it's time we did something about for example, about what? About, I don't know, you say it. It's time we did something. Again, we should do something and it's already a little bit late. I'm terrible at giving, examples, exemplifying something.
یه آدم میخواد بگه چیز میشه گیر میکنه منم همینجورم.
Yeah.
Sima, let me use this expression for subject I were told.
I was told.
Pardon me. I was told. یعنی مثلا اینو همینطوری میتونم به همه subject ها بچرخونم دیگه. Yes. مجهول دیگه میتونی. This is the passive, okay? You can also use the active form of the verb in the past tense. Okay.
In my example, I said it's time we did something. It's time, for example, let me say something. Come on, Sima, you can. It's time we ate dinner. It's time we ate. Imagine it's 1 a.m. In the morning, and we haven't eaten anything, and we're hungry. And I say, it's time we ate dinner. Means we should eat dinner, and it's already too late.
Okay, I got it. So, it's time اینجا مهم بودش. من اصلا نگرفته بودم.
Yeah. It's time, or they also say it's high time.
It's high
time.
Sometimes
it's high time to put more emphasis.
Okay. More تاکید. Okay. The next one, nothing to write home about. It means nothing special. Example.
You can use this. You can use this from next session on. When I ask, "How are you, Maliha?" You can easily say nothing to write home about. You're always looking for alternatives to say that there is nothing special.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
got it.
Nothing to write home about. Great. Okay. حالا نگاه کن 2 ساعت دارم اینو الان دارم اینو حفظ میکنم. Okay. Nothing to write home about means nothing special. Example, the town is okay, but nothing to write home about.
Mm-hmm. A
Hit
good
home.
adjective for town you can for such town that there's nothing to write home about would be the word sleepy. A sleepy town.
Sleepy town. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hit home.
Hit home.
Meaning become fully understand or fully felt.
Understood.
Pardon me, understood. Yeah. Example, the difficulty of managing without a regular salary is hitting home now.
It means it's being understood now.
Yeah.
Or I have a good example here. It's probably from the Oxford Dictionary. I've written it maybe. I wrote it maybe a long time ago. This is the example. Her face went pale as his words hit home. Her face went pale as his words hit home. It means when his words were understood.
وایسا ببینم الان word WORD means
words.
Aha. Can you please spell it?
Her face went pale when his words WORDS when his words hit home.
Okay.
Okay.
Make yourself at home means make yourself feel comfortable in someone else's home. Example, please just make yourself at home while I get dinner ready.
Exactly. Make yourself at home. This is a really common one. You hear it a lot. Make yourself at home. Okay. Part C, if you don't have any questions from part B.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, actually, I want to ask you if word is, we can use word as a verb?
Here I used it, in my example, I used it as a noun and the S was a plural S. His words, yeah.
یعنی his صحبت‌هایش.
Exactly.
کلامش.
And using word as a verb. Exactly. You can use it as a verb. But let's check the meaning when we use the word as a verb. To write or say something using particular words. How was the letter worded? This is the example. How was the letter worded? It means what did it say exactly? So to write or say something using particular words. It refers to the style of a writing.
توی یعنی استایل خاصی استفاده میشه.
In writing or in someone's speech. For example, formal, informal.
یه جورایی خیلی دانشگاهیه.
Or using worded as an adjective, a carefully worded speech. A carefully worded speech means it was carefully organized. The words were carefully picked.
Okay, got it. Idioms and metaphors relating to life. Expression, life in the fast lane. meaning a
Mm-hmm.
way of life that is full of activity and excitement. Example, as a rock star, Joe lived life in the fast lane.
Mm-hmm. You can read it in a more connected way. As a rock star, Joe lived life in the fast lane.
As a rock star, Joe lived life in the fast lane.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, have the time of your life, meaning have a wonderful time. Example, Paulo's having the time of her life in Canada.
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 Mm-hmm. What about
Expression,
you? Are you having the time of your life in Canada?
not wonderful, but yeah, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. ناشکری نکن عزیز دلم.
آره نه ناشکری نمی کنم عزیزم.
I'm
ولی
kidding.
میدونی ما نه، حالا من فکر کنم 6 ماه که اومده، از بعد از 6 ماهی که اومدم اینجا کرونا شروع شده.
Mm.
یعنی
So you
اصلا
haven't had the time to really have the
yeah,
time of your life there.
exactly, yeah. همش
Inshallah, but after Corona.
انشالله.
Okay.
Okay.
Get a new
Get a new lease of life, meaning become
lease.
lease of life, meaning become more energetic and active than before.
Energetic.
Energetic.
Mm-hmm.
Example, when Georgie moved jobs, she seemed to get a new lease of life.
Mm-hmm. Lease literally means to rent. You can either use it as a verb or as a noun.
Uh-huh.
When you use it as a verb, it means simply to rent, okay? And as a noun, it refers to the agreement that based on it, you've
Oh,
rented someplace, okay? So to
uh-huh.
get a new lease of life, um, become more energetic and active than before. A change, maybe.
Okay.
A dog's life.
A dog's life, meaning a very unhappy and difficult life. I think we have the exact interpretations in Persian. میگیم دیگه زندگی سگی.
Yeah, I've heard it a lot.
Yeah. تو فیلم ها و اینا هم خیلی شنیدیم. Okay, example, Ryan had a dog's life in the army.
In the army.
In the army.
Mm-hmm.
Expression, lead a sheltered life, meaning have a life that is protected from unpleasantness. Also lead a busy, quiet, normal, etc. life.
Mm-hmm. This is a very common collocation. Lead plus life. Lead a wonderful life. Lead a sheltered life. Lead a busy life. Normal life. Quiet life, etc.
Okay.
What is the example?
Kyuko has led a very sheltered life and may find it hard to adapt to the big city.
Okay.
Expression, not be a matter of life and death. Meaning,
again, we have it in Persian and also in Turkish.
be a matter of بس ببینم چرا چی میگیم؟
مسئله مرگ و زندگی. Ölüm kalım meselesi.
خیلی خوشم میاد ترکی هم یاد بگیرم. زبان باحال
Whenever
و
you want.
لازمیه.
And very close, there are a lot of French words in Turkish.
French words and your pronunciation, yani Turkish pronunciation, is very similar to French pronunciation.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Turkish people, I should say Turkish people or Turk people.
Turks.
The Turks can pronounce the French words easier than others.
Yeah. It's a blessing, really.
Yeah.
But before learning French, when I was watching whenever I was watching Turkish series or a Turkish advertisement or read something in Turkish, there were some words that I was 100% sure that this word's root is not Turkish. This comes from somewhere else. And this is not, for example, Arabic. This is not Persian. And this is not English. So where does it come from? And after starting to learn French, all the questions were answered. All
Uh-huh.
these come from French.
Can you give me an example?
For example, lycée. Okay?
آره توی ترکیش میگین؟
Yeah, they use it in Turkish. Or valiz.
ولیز.
Exactly, the suitcase. They use it in Turkish. Or rendezvous. Rendezvous.
راندوو. آره راندوو رو
Yeah.
توی فارسی هم میشه شنید. مرسوم نیست ولی گفته میشده مخصوصا در زمانهای قدیم. ولی
Dossier.
دوسیه.
Yeah, there are numerous words from French that is used actively in Turkish. And
فارسی هم خیلی داریم دیدی که، ولی جالب اینه که با این چیزایی که تو گفتی متفاوته. مثلا لیسه نمیگیم تو فارسی، ولیز نمیگیم.
or even the word école. With a little bit adjustment in pronunciation, they use okul.
okul چه بامزه.
Yeah.
خوشم اومد. Okay. Let me continue. کجا بودم؟ Take your
Let's get back to the track. Let me teach you something useful. Let's get back to the track.
Let's get بریم سراغ کارمون. مثلا اینجوری معنی میده. بریم تو راهمون.
Exactly. We were off topic. Now let's get back to the track.
Let's get back to the track. Okay. Expression take your life in your hands, meaning do something very dangerous. Example, you're taking your life in your hands if you cross the road here. Go to the zebra crossing.
Zebra crossing. Yeah, to risk your life. Zebra crossing is more British, and Americans say crosswalk.
Oui, crosswalk. Yeah. Crosswalk or zebra crossing. Okay. Breathe new life into, bring new ideas and energy to something. Example, when Orla joined the staff, she breathed new life into the school.
She breathed. This is a verb. Yeah, breathe is the verb and breath is the noun.
Breathed new life into the school. Okay.
Okay. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Let's move to the exercises. Exercise 1. Complete the following table about the types of accommodation in A opposite. Let's get to it. Squat.
وایستا من ببینم چی شد. Complete the following table about the types of accommodation in okay. Accommodation, furnished accommodation. What kind of person lives there?
Why don't you read the example first so that we can get a clear idea of what to do?
Okay. Accommodation, squat. What kind of person lives there? A homeless person or someone who wants to make a political statement about property or ownership. And example, I wouldn't like it because you never know when you might be evicted.
Exactly, evicted. Evict means to force somebody to leave a place. justifiably by law or something. Now, furnished accommodation.
Furnished accommodation. Okay, what
What
kind
kind
of
of person lives there?
someone who doesn't have their own furniture, perhaps a young person or someone living in a place for a short period of time.
Exactly. Or exactly. Furnished accommodation, someone who doesn't have their own furniture or someone who intends to stay in a place only temporarily. What about you? Would you like to live in a furnished accommodation?
Mm, it depends on the furnished accommodation. If it's modern and new, yeah, I like. But if it's not new, I don't like it. I prefer to, yeah, I
Okay.
prefer to have my own stuff.
Okay. What about social housing?
Social housing, what kind of person lives there? People who don't have enough money to buy a house of their own.
House of their own. Yeah.
House, pardon me, of their own.
Poor people.
Yeah, poor people. Okay. So is onu دیگه نگیم. Would you like to live there? For sure, I don't like to live there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And granny flat.
Granny flat, an elderly relative of the people who live in the main house. Mm-hmm.
So would
Uh,
you like to live in a granny flat?
um, no.
Actually, I am living, I'm living with my parents at the moment, and it's kind of granny flat for me. There is some level of independency, like there is a separate floor for me, provided with the kitchen, the restroom, a bedroom. But I always go downstairs to have a meal with them, or to, socialize with them. I'm totally living in a granny flat.
سیما بذار من شاید اشتباه فهمیدم. If, for example, our grandparents live with us, I can say, yeah, I like to live in a granny flat. Or
No.
when I'm old. Yeah,
When you're old, you're talking about yourself. Would you like to live in a granny flat?
I prefer to be in a same building with my family, but I prefer to have my independent apartment.
Apartment, exactly.
Apartment, yeah. Okay, high rise. What kind of person lives there? Any type of person might live in one of these, though it would probably be someone in a large city.
Yeah, because you don't see high rises in towns or villages or in rural areas, so you see it in big cities. Okay, what about you? Would you like to live in a high-rise flat?
No, I think I prefer to live in a house. That's correct.
In a house.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe probably a detached house,
Okay, let me ask you something here. Detached, can you tell me the meaning of detached house here? Because something that I know about detached house is a big house that detached to several parts. No.
No, it's not attached.
Attached means detached?
No. A detached house is not attached to any other building. It's totally independent, with its yard, backyard, garage, and you mostly see these type of houses in the suburbs. Okay, and they're very expensive. And there is the second type, semi-detached houses. Semi-detached houses, it means that it is detached. It is attached to a house. Semi-detached house. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So detached house. Okay. Hovel. Someone who is not
Hovel.
hovel. Someone who is not good at or interested in looking after themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm not gonna ask this. Nobody
Yeah.
would live in such a place. What about penthouse?
Penthouse sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I still prefer to live in a house. What kind of person is
You're
that?
you're you're a person after my own heart. Let me use our expressions in previous unit. You're a person after my own heart means we share the same interests. I
Uh-huh.
would I would prefer a detached house in the countryside over a penthouse too.
Yeah. Okay. Someone with a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kardashians maybe.
Mhm.
18.2.
Okay. Fill the gaps in this sentence with words and phrases from B and C opposites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, number one. From the moment we met, we got on like a house on fire.
Exactly. From the moment we met, we got on like house on fire.
Fire.
Yesterday, I read something really interesting. In the future, for example, our grandchildren ask us, Grandma, how did you meet grandfather, grandpa? And she says, we met during the quarantine and it was love at the first Skype. At the first Skype.
Skype.
Instead of at the first sight,
Skype.
yeah, love at the first Skype. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Jenna's so چی شد؟ So self چجوریه این چه جمله؟ Jenna's so selfish چجوریه؟
She's so selfish. She deserves to be
فهمیدی چی
told of
شد؟
you.
اصلا دوزاریم یه لحظه نیفتاد این ایزه ببخشید. Jenna's so
It's
selfish.
okay.
She deserves to be told a few home truths.
Exactly. She deserves to be told a few home truths. Number 3.
The new restaurant is okay, but nothing really to write home about.
Exactly. Number 4.
So what that you didn't get the promotion, it's not a matter of life and death.
Exactly. So what that you didn't get the promotion, it's not a matter of life and death. Number 5.
I'm not sure I'd like to have a celebrity lifestyle, living life in the fast lane.
I'm not sure I'd like to have a celebrity lifestyle, living life in the fast lane. What about you, Mariha? Would you prefer to live the life in the fast lane?
Okay, let me چیز اشتباه نگم. Fast lane مثلا میشه همون چیز دیگه.
A
خیلی
dynamic life, full of excitement and adventure.
And I like adventure. No, I prefer to have a live یکم medium تر از این.
A medium fast lane life.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, number 6. I'm not sure I'd like to have. No, اینو گفتم. As a child.
As a child.
Yeah, as a child, the writer led a sheltered life in a small village in the back of Beyond.
This is a good one. In the back of Beyond. It means in a remote place.
Back of beyond, yeah, remote place.
Yeah. As a child, the writer led a sheltered life in a small village in the back of beyond. Number 7.
We need someone to come and breathe some new life in.
Breathe.
Breathe some new life into the project.
Exactly. By the way, thank you so much, dear Mr. Qaheri, for participating in doing the exercises. We really appreciate it. Okay, number 8.
We soon managed to make ourselves at the home in our holiday cottage.
We soon managed to make ourselves at home in our holiday cottage. Exactly. Thank you so much. Exercise 3.
Exercise 3.
Exercise.
Choose expressions from B and C opposites to replace the underlined words in these sentences. Okay, ثبت کنم سیما یا همینطوری بخونم؟
No, continue, please.
Okay, we had the most marvelous time on holiday this year. Instead of the most marvelous time, we can say the time of our life.
We had the time of our life on holiday this year. Exactly. Number 2.
As soon as spring comes, I feel as if I'm becoming energetic and active again. Getting a new lease of life.
Lease.
Lease.
As soon as spring comes, I feel as if I'm getting a new lease of life.
Number 3, the problems caused by the floods are only making themselves fully felt now. Making themselves fully felt, hitting home.
Exactly. The problems caused by the floods, the pronunciation is floods. The problems caused by the floods are only hitting home now. They're becoming understood. Okay.
Number 4, I imagine that being a servant in the past must have been very hard and tedious. A dog's life. Have been
Exactly.
A dog's life.
I imagine that being a servant in the past must have been a dog's life. Tedious means boring. 5.
Okay, 5. All over the world, everybody knows about McDonald's. Everybody knows about can be replaced by, we have to change it. McDonald's is a household name.
Exactly. All over the world, McDonald's is a household name or is a household world.
Yeah. He's taking a big risk if he gets in a car with Ben at the wheel. He's taking his life in his hands.
If he gets in a car with Ben at the wheel, چه قشنگه پشت فرمون at the wheel.
چه جا بامزه.
He's taking his life in his hands if he gets in a car with Ben at the wheel.
پس یعنی at the wheel پشت فرمون معنی میده. پشت
ماشین.
آره دیگه انگار داره میگه پشت ماشین وقتی میگه پشت چرخ.
We had it earlier, the similar at the table, at the machine. Yeah. Now we have at the wheel. Okay.
Number 7. Because we were such frequent customers, the restaurant gave us a meal free. The restaurant gives us a meal on the house.
Exactly. Because we were such frequent customers, the restaurant gave us a meal on the house. I hope to get a meal on the house from my favorite restaurants too someday.
Yeah. Okay, here are some more expressions with home the next exercise.
Our holiday apartment, you skipped number 8, I think.
چرا رفتم بعدی؟ Our holiday apartment was quiet, adequate, but not particularly special in any way. Nothing to write home about.
Exactly. Our holiday apartment was quite, the pronunciation is quite
Quite.
adequate, but nothing to write home about. Exactly. And number 4.
Number 4, here are some more expressions with home and life. Use the context to work out what the underlined expressions mean.
To work out the meaning, see, to understand the meaning. That is one of the meanings of the phrasal verb work out. It has several different meanings, and one of the meanings is to understand the meaning of something, work out.
Work out.
Okay, number 1.
The poet said that he had had a period of depression, but that he had never considered taking his own life.
Taking his own life means
committing suicide.
Yeah, to commit a suicide. Exactly. To commit suicide, البته. To commit suicide.
Suicide. The comedy, do superb performance, brought the house down.
Bring the house down.
Was very popular.
Yeah, it means that everybody liked it. It was really exciting and interesting. So in Persian they also use it. مثلا سالونو کشیدم پایین یا چیز. یه همچین چیزی میگن.
ما میگم سالن رفت رو هوا.
آفرین، آره, exactly. سالن رفت رو هوا, exactly. And in Turkish, mostly they say patlattılar.
یعنی چی؟
Means they blew the venue up.
They blew
explode.
ترکوندن.
منفجر کردن. آره. منو باشه نگاه فارسیشو گذاشتم دارم انگلیسیشو بهت میگم.
نه خب
بعضی وقتا یادم میره که میتونم با فارسی باهات کمیونیکیت کنم. Sometimes I forget that.
ببین اونو تو فارسی هم میگین. ترکوندن. Okay. Number کجا بودیم؟ 2? No. 3. Our customers come from many different walks of life. We have doctors, shop assistants, computer programmers, you name it. این you name it یعنی هر چی تو بگی.
And so on.
Walks of life means job, occupations.
Exactly, with different occupational backgrounds. Our customers come from many different walks of life. We have doctors, shop assistants, computer programs, you name it. Yeah, there was another one. People, we have also this, people from different walks of the society. It also almost mean the same thing. People from different walks of the society, people with different backgrounds.
Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4, the system turned out to be a house of cards. It didn't take much to bring it down. A house of cards means a launch party. A launch party.
No, the system turned out to be a house of cards. It didn't take time to bring it down.
رفتم یه 4 دیگه رو خوندم ببخشید.
You're cheating, huh?
آره.
You're cheating.
Very unstable.
Yeah, and have you heard about the series House of Cards, and have you ever watched it?
Exactly. یاد همون افتادم گفتم او پس همین معنی رو میداد.
Yeah, House of Cards referring to a very unstable situation that happens in the White House. Did you manage to finish the series, or you just left it at some point?
No, I didn't see this series.
I think I've watched it until season 4, but then I didn't continue watching it, but
Uh,
it was really interesting. You know, Kevin Spacey's English speaking is again listening class
mhm.
for me, and he is really difficult to understand. And I used that series to improve my listening a while. I was, I think, a freshman at the university. He is really difficult to understand, at the same time challenging and enjoyable. So for those of people who are watching us and want to challenge themselves, I highly recommend that they watch that series, House
And
of Cards.
what about the topic? It was interesting.
It's totally political. It's a hypothetical situation in the White House. Those games that is are played to reach, and to be the president of the United States. Some political games,
Hmm.
and really interesting. Really.
Hmm. Okay, got it. Uh, Number 5. Whenever my nephews arrive for a visit, they eat us out of house and home. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Eat an enormous amount.
Exactly. It means they eat a lot. Whenever my nephews arrive for a visit, they eat us out of the house and home. They eat a lot.
Hmm.
And number 6.
I love having George around. You can rely on him to be the life and soul of the party. Be ener
Mm-hmm. I
yeah,
love.
be energetic and funny.
Mm-hmm. I love having George around. You can rely on him to be the life and soul of the party. It means they kind of breathe life to the atmosphere that they are present in.
Mhm.